The modern world loves to define and label things. It feels that if we can break the whole apart and label it, that is how we'll know the thing, right? And one of the things that it's done is it's done this with people too. The modern world has 1,000, there's 1,000,000 ways to label someone, okay? You can do based off jobs, you can do based off social class, you can do left brain, right brain, you can do 1,000 different types of personality tests. There's a myriad of ways to label someone, politics, etc. And I think one of the things that this has done to people is it's taken the mystery away from being a human being, okay? Now, I don't think completely, okay? But I think for a lot of the people living in the modern world, they will accept these labels. They'll say, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. And from that moment on, their brain is programmed to only see through that lens, okay? One of the things that this does to a human being, especially with themselves, but especially with other people, is they feel that they actually understand people. But I don't mean understand in like an empathetic way. I'm meaning understand in a shallow way, but they think it's deep because they know all about all these different labels, right? A doctor will know 1,000 different things about health. They're able to label them and they'll be like, oh yeah, this explains it. It's, you know, whatever these things are. And sometimes that's true, yet we also know a lot of people who they go to the doctors and the doctors have no idea. And they can't see beyond that paradigm. It's the same way. It doesn't matter what realm you want to talk about. When we take the whole of the world or the whole of a human being and try and divide it up and label it and think that understanding comes from that, we're living in a mechanistic world then at that point. We're nothing beyond what our parts are made of. And I would argue one of the things that we need to get back to is understanding that people, but also having this view for yourself, that you yourself are beyond any of the labels that are given to you or that you gave to yourself. All of these things that label us and define us, they probably have elements of truth to them. Some of them flat out do not, but some of them have elements of truth, and this is good, helps us understand. But if you do not see that you yourself go beyond all the labels that you've been given, or all the labels that you give yourself, well then you'll never be able to see differently. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you can only see through labels, you can never see beyond labels. So for you, if you can only see things by how things are divided up and in the categories that they fit in, but never see how maybe two categories connect or combine to form something that goes beyond categories. That's how it is for a human being. I think that what this process will end up doing is either getting people numbed out and very short-tempered and aggressive with each other, or I think it can move us into a lot of patience. I think into like a lot of love. And I think seeing the beauty of a person, because no one is ever defined by all their good qualities or their bad. It's never that. It always goes above both. And so one of the things that I think will happen as a result of us hopefully moving back into, which I do believe that we're going to, because I think we're being pushed towards the limit right now with this dividing and labeling. I think we'll also see this happen in the occupation space, meaning I don't think in the future people are just going to have a job, right? I hope, I don't know if it will work or if it will even happen or not, but like for example on social media too, people are known for one thing, right? The idea of doing multiple things, it kind of sounds odd if you're trying to do it on a professional level, right? We like the specialist, we like the person who just is good at one thing, right? And so one of the things, even with this, YouTube channel, is to just show a lot of the different sides of what it is to be a person, because we all know the people. They may be popular on the internet or something like that, but you meet them in person, they go beyond anything of what you knew them to be online or anything like that. People always go above what they're labeled with or what they're presented with. Okay, and so I think this will happen in the future as well. I think we're going to go back into roles. I think we're going to be more holistic problem solvers in general. I think it's going to be a common thing to see people being good at multiple things. Like, also, since when is that like looked down upon? The fact that you can do multiple things well instead of just doing one thing well. We tend to be quicker to judge if someone's doing a lot of things. We're like, well, you don't just do one thing, right? It's because everything has been so divided. And so anyways, I'm saying this video to say, one, I want to invite us back to the idea that you can take someone absolutely apart, but no matter how many things that you can label within a person, they will always transcend whatever you label them with. All the more, a culture, people at large in the world, people are beyond what we label them. And so if we can move back into seeing people holistically beyond anything of what we know about them, and also do that with ourselves, I think we're going to move back into that space of patience and love and chemistry with one another. Because right now we're going more and more into that machine-like thinking where it's zeros and ones. It's all binary. It's either ors. You can be this or you can be that. And it's like, well, you could be neither, or you could be both. Like, paradoxes exist. And I think we need to start bringing that back. And I think a tangible way that we'll see that also is within the job sphere as well. And even calling it the job sphere isn't even technically right. I think it's just within the occupation space. We're going to see people who are good at multiple things. And I think also, economically speaking, I think the finances, at least of America, are going to push people into that space of needing to do more than one thing, needing to have more than one job. And people are going to show how creative they can actually be instead of just how logical or strict within their own current mode of operating that they actually are. So let me know what you guys think on this. It's definitely something that I've been thinking of for a while, moving back into that holistic space instead of the divide and conquer space, if you will. Let me know if you guys have had similar thoughts, or if you guys think I'm completely wrong. That's okay too. Just let me know down in the comments below. All right.